held us up until we made sure that we had a big fat contract.
And what's his name? That's his name.
So we're going to need with things like doing the feasibility study for the extension. Isn't that
No,
something
you're not doing something. You're not making FS1 extension.
No, you could
Don't you require one or something?
The point is, you can say,
hey,
No, consulting's just trying to create a story.
Yeah, I know.
We'll do a feasibility
can you please
study.
do us a
That
feasibility
person
study
knows
for
what
the
does
investment
work.
committee? How much are you going to charge? $50,000?
I mean, look, yeah.
Reasonable.
Okay. And that
You say
advisor
so, but the
does
last
the work.
guy he wants to see the report.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask for what, okay, what? But if you have, let's say, this consultant every month stepping into your office for a feasibility study, then at a certain moment, the guy would say, where are the reports?
But
Pay 60 grand, 20 grand.
But I think,
And hopefully get
but hang on,
one major report.
there's a couple things. I mean, look, extensions. I kind of feel like extensions are really critical stuff. We use an advisory, but for like getting paid on a regular basis, fuck it, enough is enough. And let's just. And you know what? We're not going to get. We're not going to pay to get paid under our own contracts. And if we are sustainable, if we start pulling enough money, we can withstand it. And we'll continue to. We'll yell at their boss. We'll find some other way. I mean, take them to karaoke, take them golfing, take them to Singapore. I don't care, but fuck it. We don't have to pay anymore to get paid under.
Or is there a more legit, like you were saying, take them to dinner? I mean, stuff that's not the brown bag of cash.
The feedback I got from some of the ex-Savatama boys is part of the reason why some Savatama business is down is because they stopped doing it. And I mean, how many times you want to go karaoke and how many times you want to go for dinner, and at the end of the days, these guys also say, look, instead of spending it on a karaoke, just
but we gotta find a guy.
give me just
For the ongoing, can we do a CSR thing?
yeah, I'm happy to look
A
in.
CSR. I mean,
Look, we can all be smart and think about it. I mean, for sure they'll option.
I mean,
I mean,
you can have a quality control
they also
company.
have to work a bit to
voice our
I mean,
quality
if you
control.
can,
Even an individual CSR, like an Xbox for my kid type thing?
they are managing a
No, I
program.
feel like that. It feels
Yeah.
good.
That's that. For the office. And then they buy catering boxes and food.
But you could, there are nice football CSR programs actually organized by ASA.
Those are great though, we feel terrific about
They do
that.
this for Coca-Cola, they do it for the United Nations.
Can you find a hollow ball and then you stop and sleep? It's fun.
This is a heavy ball.
Very heavy.
Or leather ball.
Except for you.
Okay.
No, but I agree with Greg. I mean, if it's like extension, we have to do it, right? And
I think it's in all our benefit to minimize it, right? So if there's ways to minimize, that's great. But
Minimize,
No, we have to minimize
you know, do the CSR, do the in-kind, have some services delivered. I mean, what do you think about
you
this?
can set up a consultancy firm and we use
Again,
that
we have a very good idea.
You make the invoices.
How
Related
much, right?
parties
So
also.
even if you tell
You
someone
look at
to
the
do that, you know
Indonesians,
exactly what, right?
Yeah, well, I don't expect Greg or Ghana to set it up, so you don't want us to set it up, so go ahead.
so we should.
Dividend.
Yeah, we're very
Oh,
happy.
dividend from Hansa. Okay.
Well, no,
If you have like a, you know,
that's another option. You get bonus
I think we
payments.
had that maybe bring that Mr. Money guy back.
I mean, we give us
Mr. Money, okay.
250,000 bonus every year, and it's also.
And while still being the internal audit committee, yeah.
or make a yayasa. Make our own yayasa.
We need to put our heads together to think about what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
recognize
it's legit. It's a legit question.
It's an important question.
There is, though, however, just not to put a damper on a nice atmosphere here. Practically speaking, we do have to wrap up the IA report.
Yep.
And we may have, unfortunately, a requirement to report to the banks. And we're trying to figure out the way to do this in the most calm, anodyne. And we don't have an answer on that one yet.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is, as near as I can tell, talking to several people, there shouldn't be any requirement to have to report to anybody legally. Indonesia, Singapore, there's no affirmative obligation. The question is, though, under really the loan documents, it seems, is there any report? And if so, how do you, by report, I don't mean like multi-page report. You send them a one-page letter saying, basically, we bring, because basically you have to, every single time the company pays interest, the company has to say we're in compliance with all our covenants. And the answer is we're clearly, or haven't been historically in compliance with one of these. So you can stay silent, but then everyone's in jeopardy. If you tell them everything, they freak out. So you basically tell them something in a more quiet form, which is, we believe we may have breached one of these covenants. We are taking all steps to remedy it, including putting in place training, compliance, cash controls, etc., and believe it is remedied. How do you do this, basically, which ties it up with the law and doesn't put ourselves at risk? Just figure out how to do it. It must be done all the time. So it's not the first time this has ever happened.
Because with GE, the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's exactly the
Because we
same.
use the wrong agent to import stuff.
Yes.
Not just us, many other countries as well, right? And then we got scored and they come here, it was a big issue.
Yes.
And then, okay, we had to do compliance training and blah, blah, blah. You know.
So from company standpoint, just to summarize, we have to deal with Pricewaterhouse,
Yeah.
to deal with the banks, and then we also have to, just so that we have to also explain to the IAT, because we don't want to seem like, oh, now everything is clear, why are we here, right? And that's probably an easier part.
But with IA, HASTA, we should just have the same discussion.
HASTA is not. I don't see. I think they.
We can close HASTA.
Understandable.
Okay.
We can close HASTA and close Hookham.
The other one also the subcontractor. So now it's about the cash advance.
Yeah,
The only question is what story you would put into the cash advance.
How do you want to address it? How do you want to solve it, have no reporting, and you say, theoretically you could say it's a bonus payment. It's a bit silly after all. Just think it out here. Do you want
Just leave it and pay it next year as a bonus.
I don't think
So there were a
Or
couple
really-
of options. So,
Really
so one
pay
is
it and then we just
it was loans
pay
to the
back.
founders and they have to pay it back and they get to pay it back next year. That's what happened. So there's one option. The other option is we go and say, okay, payments we made. Your point is we've breached the covenant because we've broken the law by making these payments. We need to make an update to the lenders that we have breached the covenant by breaking the law.
Yeah, I think you do leave it with it's softer than it is. Because the thing is, there's no hard, and as Arnold was saying, money was given to plant managers. What they did beyond that is a little bit it's not like we have a smoking gun, so to speak. So it's more of a, we believe, we have reason to believe that the covenant may have been breached. So you just sit a little bit softer than that, but we've taken the following remedial measures.
Okay. And so I think you guys got a relationship with the banks. How are they going to react to that?
We guys. You work for the bank, not me.
Anyway, so that's because what are we worried about?
When you say that, then what if Sanitarian is okay, but I have said we're gonna sue you.
Agreed. So we have to think through this, and this one I'm not winging it, but I think first of all there's an argument that the amounts involved here, because like originally I thought we were talking about a $3 million amount, just because I didn't know Asta and Ukum, however it's pronounced. If it's $700,000 in the context of a company that's worth $300 million or whatever, it could be immaterial. So there could be an argument that there's just a materiality thing, apparently under the shareholders agreement there is. So we might be able to say, look, this is immaterial, don't have to disclose it. If we can, nobody's happier than me or us. So if we can if it's not material, that's fine. If it is material enough or there's no materiality exemption, the question is how do you make this disclosure in a way that doesn't alarm anybody, most specifically the lender syndicate? Because I'm not worried about Standard Chartered, it's really some bank in Taiwan or wherever. I don't think it does not give them the right to ask for their money back. So I don't think that's a problem particularly. The next question is, when somebody like IIF, whatever, do they have a reporting obligation internally? So it's all a question of how do we put the disclosure, and then how do we prepare for the questions.
But I think seeing the fragile state the company is in.
Less is more. Oh, no,
And you have a report and things go for whatever reason south in 6 months. And I have then looks for something and said, well actually this report that was the starting point.
I think we are all on the same page here. It's not stupid people.
We're in no rush to actually do anything, are we?
No. That was another question that I specifically asked Cindy. I said, look here, we're developing facts right now, and they're like, that's right.
Is this a matter of closing the accounts, or is this because it's already reported to the audit committee?
No, so the accounts are closed, we've already written off the amounts.
Yeah.
So from an accounting standpoint, the matter's done.
It's not even, you can't see it anymore, right?
It's finished, it's
No.
gone. What PwC has asked for, and they're gonna ask for it next year,
This story.
is can we finally see your IA report?
Okay,
When-
so
when we do the audit next year, they will say, show us all the reports from the internal auditor.
And but the advance payments are booked as what?
They were booked as employee loans, which have been written off, because there was
Okay.
never any substance. This was like that whole, I was trying to get off plan because
Yeah.
these Saudi diesels and these these. Since we couldn't get any feedback and we couldn't get any confirmation that we didn't rebate, they're gone. But the internal, PwC still looks at internal auditor reports. It doesn't change the accounts, but they're curious, and I don't think actually it matters to PwC.
But are we
No,
continuing with PwC next year?
Changing auditor is.
Well, I mean, we had them 4 or 5 years in a row now, right? It's normal that you change after, and especially there is some emotion, and there is some emotional baggage
Well,
with
Europe
them,
is
right?
very-
I mean,
it's
it's,
even
oh,
gonna be
you're
more
right.
suspicious. I think it's gonna be more
Yeah.
suspicious.
Well, but let's think about it. But the only other problem though is that the existence of an IA report is something that an auditor always gets to see.
Yeah.
Before we change, so we need to close out the IA report, right?
Yeah,
The IA report needs to be given next year, needs to explain what's
I
happened
think
here.
PwC, but I'm more concerned about IA report in the banks.
Yeah, no, I-
What I mean, if we discuss with PwC next year, I think by Jan, okay, take he moves on. He's a senior partner, doesn't wanna.
I think that you're right. It's the IA report. It's the I think it's how do we close the IA report, and then understanding what reporting obligations we have as a company, how to deal with those as in as safe a way as possible, and which we figure out. We're all in this agreement. And I think probably, and the only one I'm actually even mildly concerned about, honestly, is the loan. Because the equity documents and shareholders are also getting wrong. Basically, IAF, I think we have to worry about a little bit, but
Do we sign any special
thing with them?
IF?
No, but they are party to basically a shareholders agreement where there's an anti-corruption, anti-bribery covenant ongoing. So the question is there any disclosure required for a breach of that? I talked yesterday to lawyers, they were very hazy on the subject. I read the provision, I'm confused after I read it, I've been a lawyer. Because it seems to say that it seems to basically say the company shouldn't do this, but it's not exactly clear that you have to put up your hand if something was done. You see, it's not, so we take a view, we understand. It'll take us a couple of weeks.
One version of the story could be that the founders took loans, and those loans are due, and that's the finding of the internal audit review. And next year, they get settled.
well, they're already written off.
They're written off, yeah, but they need to,
For the
for the good of the company, they should be paid back. And so next year, there's, you get a bonus, and then they get settled
Yeah,
and offset
yeah.
against the bonus.
But then, I think there is an internal audit committee and an internal audit doing this work. I'm not sure which they interviewed. I'm also not sure what has been reported already internally. So that's the
Yeah.
topic. How do we
So
report
what's-
internally? Where can you agree on to sign off?
So there's just a draft.
No, but also Atul
Has spoken.
has spoken
So who?
Internal audit.
And explains.
and said it's paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the internal audit report, I think, has the line that
Draft.
payments may have been made to PLN employees or
Yeah.
government officials. This should be
Looked at
further
further.
that further. It's just a draft report, though, it's not a final
I
report.
think with the payments, we really have to get help from lawyers.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
Totally agree.
I mean, the spirit is we don't want to escalate this. We know what happened, blah blah blah. But
Did we pay
How
for
to-
any PLN tickets or not? Because then,
Years ago, that was.
no, so that's what Atul referred to, right? We paid
Oh.
2 PLN people for the tickets to Austria for the factory visit, right? So he wasn't sure if that was compliant, so that's what he was referring to in these talks, right?
But if that's all it was, that's pretty minor.
Yeah, is it, I don't even know, is it compliant to pay a ticket for PLN to do a factory visit?
Probably not.
Yeah, okay, but that is
But
like the slap on the,
That's minor.
yeah. So, and that's what Atul was referring to when the internal auditor asked him, Are there payments to pay less?
Oh, so that sentence in the draft report relates to
I
these
wouldn't
two
bet
things?
on that.
No?
I'd like this.
Further investigation.
Looking at the sunny side of
Further
life.
investigations show that
In
this
the
is what he
audit
meant.
committee's mouth?
These are just loans that we paid back over time. There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, so I mean, look, in the first instance, I think we should actually get the Hookham and Hostel stuff closed out, get, the bottom out the numbers, with P&M, then get that script written up for both, so that goes in the IA report, and then we need to think about what we're gonna do on the loans. We're in no rush, it's not like we have to do anything about it
No.
immediately.
I think it behooves us to get this done in the next, month and a half or so.
It is a rush, I mean, frankly, we're investigating, investigation is continuing to be open, I mean, Nine-ish took the view of, look, he just did this investigation over appointment thing.
Well, the question is also, who do you want to keep the internal auditor, right?
Oh, come on.
A lot, basically the PwC.
I mean, are you happy with them or you know?
Yes.
I never met him.
They're good guys, and they're nothing. They're just trying to do their job, and at this point,
Son doesn't
I
like
mean,
that.
if we are.
They haven't spoken to me, so I'm
The
fine.
first thing
Sounds
we
like
need,
the first thing we need to do
First
is
thing
fix
we
the
need to
situation.
do-
The only
Get PwC out, get the internal auditor out.
Yeah.
Everything will be okay.
yeah, the first
Look,
thing-
when they invited me for a conversation, I asked Daniel, I said, should I tell them the full truth? He said no. So I said, should I lie to them? He said also no. So yeah, then what
No,
should
I said
tell
let
them?
me think. But no. They are actually nice people. They're normal, nice, nothing. They're just trying to do their job.
They should respond well to death.
But they didn't find this, by the way. Let me just be very clear on this. PwC found it, they brought it to Michael's attention.
Yeah.
Michael bitched and complained and moaned and was very unhappy about it. And then he asked internal audit to look into it.
Yeah, which is
That's what
which is
happened.
also what Michael should be doing. I don't
But
blame
actually,
Michael.
Michael, at that time with Carl, he wasn't aware. I think Carl already
I think he should
raised
dig
some of
too.
these costs.
Wait a second,
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah, internal
Yeah, but we
audit.
thought Carl was crazy.
He was.
No, he was saying all the,
To say.
I'm the one who talked
We
to
accused
him,
him
and
of
everything
exploiting
he said
something
was,
big man.
like 80% true.
Mm.
Atul was running around with bags of cash, blah blah blah. I said, oh,
He's a
Ah.
disgruntled whistleblower.
he's actually.
Okay, so we have a plan?
Yeah. Should we,
Alright.
we also were playing.
We should.
So just close out on business development then, and recontracting, we agreed on.
In terms of what? We need to find an advisor.
No, on the role of
This
the
is-
founders and
Yeah,
working
yeah,
with
yeah.
us and going forward, is that
I think.
No,
we're
yeah,
not. We're not.
Not yet.
We're not.
having a
We're still
discussion on that?
discussing that.
We're still today.
Okay, good, okay, I understand.
Okay.
So, but I think priority to me, just to put on the table, recontracting. I think regardless of this, we need, support and we all need to work together on recontracting to get this done. So please.
So,
leave
maybe
it
good
out.
we guys leave, you guys can discuss and agree on something. And we can move on, right? I mean, I understand you need to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we need a few more days.
Okay,
We
so,
need to
let's
just
close it
play
up in the
first.
next couple of days and
Okay.
then
Good.
get going.
Okay.
But thank you, thank you very much for the discussion. Appreciate the candor. I want to say thank you.
Same skill.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
Did we give the things back to the office board?
That's it.
Anyhow.
Thank you.
Greg? Yeah, future.
Yeah.
All right.